Hello everyone, welcome back to Beauty the Garden. I am T. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and if you're returning, hey you guys. So today you guys, we're going to be planting up a citrus tree. So I have a couple of citrus throughout the property. I have Martyr lemon, key lime, limes, and we're going to add in a couple more new additions to our little homestead. I call it my little suburban homestead, but I'm going to show you guys how I go about planting up my citrus. So this is why I try to keep things kind of simple and kind of basic so that you won't be kind of confused on what I'm doing here. So first thing up is I have here is a nice size container. You do want to make sure that you do have a nice size container. Now the containers that they normally will come in are very, very small. Like for instance, here is a container size here. This is quite a small container, you guys. So we want to make sure that we take it out of these containers. Most of the time when you receive your plant, you're going to receive a plant that's pretty much going to be root bound because they're in such a small container. All right, so as you guys can see here, this is right here is my tangerine. And what I'm going to do to my tangerine tree is going to plant it into this container that has a mixture. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about this mixture. So in here I got a little bit of bark, and as well I have perlite. Citrus trees does not like wet roots. If it has wet roots, they are quickly and prone to rot. So we don't want that to happen. So make sure that you do add something in there for drainage. And if you don't have perlite or bark, add in here some little bit of rocks at the bottom to make sure that you do have proper drainage. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a hole the size of that container. All right, so we're going to make a pretty good size hole, as you guys can see here. We don't want to disturb this plant too much, but what we're going to do is we're going to tease it just a little bit. And if you do not tease a plant that comes directly out of a container, it's still going to think it's in that container as like it's holding its own memory. So what we're going to do is we're going to just tease it just a little bit to get those roots out of that pattern. All right, now we're going to go ahead and place it into our container. We're going to make sure that we stay at the proper line that is already at. We don't want to bury it no deeper than it already was. So just making sure that you understand that it helps out a lot when planting out any fruit trees or sometimes any other shrub. So as you guys can see, as simple as that when it comes down to placing a fruit tree into a container. So this right here is the tangerine. Right beside me, I have a calamandan. This is another citrus variety. As you guys can see, I have planted in this container. Please make sure that you do leave yourself a water line in your container. This one has not settled yet. This one has settled. And you can see already that it has settled quite a bit. So keep in mind, fill your containers up so that once you water, they will sink down and you won't lose water when it's time to water. The next thing that I love to do when it comes down to planting up anything is, you guys, I have to use fish emulsion. Fish emulsion is a water soluble. It's going to feed your plant right away. We don't want to wait later because we have disturbed it just a little bit. So we want to give it the best start it can. So we're going to give it fish fertilizer. Right here I have a 2-gallon pitcher. This 2-gallon pitcher, you guys, is going to need just 2 tablespoons of fish fertilizer. Now I am going to eyeball it because I don't have my tablespoon out here, but we're going to go ahead and just eyeball 2 tablespoons. That should do. And we're going to give that a stir. All right, so now that we have that, we're going to give this plant a good feeding. Now I am going to pour this whole entire container into this pot. Let it settle and come back, and we're going to keep doing it. Now, as you guys can see, the water is not spilling out of the container. Why? It's because we created that barrier that keeps the water from pouring out of your container. And that's why you always want to make sure that you give your plant enough soil, but making sure that you still have that water line so that your water doesn't just spill out of your container and you wasting your fertilizer. So if I was to fill this up, what would happen to my water? It would just go ahead out of the pot. But while we having that, it stays in. So there's something new that I'm actually going to try. This is not considered an organic product as far as I can tell from the packaging, but it is what they call a fruit and citrus steak that I'm going to be putting into my container. I figured, you know, it's a fruit tree, so I'm not going to be able to always get around to doing it, but this right here is going to give it a feeding. So I'm going to be putting in one of these. Now, the best thing to do with these are not to put it nowhere near the tree. We're going to pop it actually on the corner of this container, and I'm only going to do one. Do check your packaging to check and see exactly what they do tell you to do with it. It might burn your plant, so you don't want to do that. So always do what the packaging says, because they have did the research. So follow the packaging. I'm going to put mine on the outside of this container, just like that. So as I water, I don't have to worry about coming back and giving it a feeding. Only thing I got to do is water the container. So as you guys can see, we have now planted up our tangerine, and I actually have some tangerines right here on this tree. Super exciting. I'm actually going to come in and do a couple little pruning so I can get rid of some of that old wood that does not have any life and that's serving my plant any purpose whatsoever. And as you guys can see, as this one is doing very, very well, this is once again a calamandin, and this is a tangerine. Now I will show you guys all of the citrus that I do have on the property, as far as my Myers lemon, so forth and so on. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And remember, there's beauty in everyone's garden. And bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.